Hey guys, Kuzo back with another stream. Gonna throw up the links as like always. Hopefully everyone's having a good day or night, wherever you live. So it's gonna be a pretty fun stream. Since we're gonna be working on some stuff. Cool. There we go. Hitting up the Instas. Bam, shabam. Shoot that up there. And we go to the tweeter twatters. Paste. Boom. We all set. Hey, what is up, King Green? What's up, Bella? Wallace. What is up, XD? What's up, Akiku-san? What is up, Aubrey? What is up, Joe the Art Bro? What is up, Marv? What is up, Kudo? What is up, everyone popping in here, letting people jump in and join. And yeah, let's get a little bit started. So just to let you guys know, this is some of the manuscript for the new series I'm working on with Voice Me and Brandon John? Yeah. But yeah, this is the new manuscript for that. So we're going to be doing some inking and storyboarding here. Ooh, shoot. Dang it. I'm going to have to go over here and check something. I think it's 8. Well, apparently not 8. 12? There's a specific panel width I use. And I've been using my other iPad. This is my 2017 iPad. So I wanted to make sure that it was still correct for the actual width of this. What is up, Kosh? What is up, everybody? New or OGs? What is up, rolling in here? Probably going to be streaming for about either an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We'll see. You made it back. Yeah. Any updates on Bounty's Gate? Not currently, but I definitely will be doing some work on it between some stuff here, so don't worry about that. Okay. I'm actually going to lock this. There we go. And I'm actually going to maybe shoot this off to the side here. No. And it's fine. I don't have to do that. I've been working a bit different than I normally do. Alright, let's do this. Let's bring this down here. Cool. Alright. Oh, shoot, I don't have my bubble size either. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wait for that stuff. How do you break down the body in your method? I actually have quite a bit of that on my YouTube channel. I could probably do some of that at some point in the stream, but I do want to actually get some of this stuff done. I miss you so much. Excited for Madgate. Thank you very much. Hello. What program are you using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint on the iPad Pro 2017 model. I believe this is... I should have been more prepared for the pens I use, but it shouldn't be too much different than what I typically use. So randomness. could have sworn I put in the pen I use in here. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to go with this one as much as possible. Let me make sure all the correct settings are. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Except I think maybe the velocity needs to be turned down a little bit. Yeah, I need to be turned down a little bit. Let me turn that up a little bit more. Or let's turn that down. Let's keep it like that. No, I think I need to go up in size slightly. Alright, sorry, I had to get the pens all set up. What type of Apple pen are you using? I'm using the one that's meant for the series that I have, so I'm using the first generation Apple Pencil. They're both the same when it comes to like quality. I have to say the feel of the pens are pretty similar. The newer model that comes with the newer model of iPad Pro, it's a bit lighter. Other than that, the pen pressure is the same. There's no difference. This pen is definitely feels a tad bit different than my normal pen. I can make it work though. All right. And just to be clear, I do all the drafting. I do all the drafting, and I do around 70% of starting chapter 2. I do about 70% of the inking. Where can I find your manga? This is going to be on Voice Me. It's going to be, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the date or not, but it will be debuting this month. It'll be weekly. Yes, I made it, says Mirror. Awesome, man. Thank you for coming. Box Drawing YouTube. What is up? Where can I find your manga? Oh, I already read that one. When does Mad Gate get released? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the exact date, but it is going to be this month, so. We only got like 20-ish days left in the month, so kind of leaves it open for you guys there. Just scrolling up to see what's going on up here. Kuzo back from the dead. By the way, speaking of back from the dead, man, so I actually fractured my foot like a week and a half ago. And that wasn't fun. I wasn't really able to sit at my desk for the first few days. Because it was just the throbbing of it. I've broken bones before. And I was surprised at how much just a small little fracture does to you. I want to make sure you guys are seeing exactly what I'm doing here. Whoa, it's getting a little loud there. 79 people in here. Good to see everyone. Sounds terrible. Oh, you're probably talking about my foot. I thought you were talking about the music. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I mean, I don't think it would ever be fun for that to happen. The first 2 days, I literally couldn't touch my foot to the ground. It just hurt really bad. But it is what it is. 84 people in here. Good to see everyone. Let's see what everyone is saying here. Missed these streams, but I got to study for AP Calc test. Gonna listen to this stream. Awesome. Well, good thing you're still studying. Thanks for still chilling around, though. I'll do you one better. When is Mad Gate being released? I can't specifically say that, but it's going to be this month. I don't know if I can specifically say it or not, but I thought I saw another question that I was going to answer, but I can't see it now. Ooh, finally caught a stream, says Mel. Awesome to hear. Ouch, hope you're doing better. Yeah, it's just doing a lot better. I can at least walk on it now, so. Got a new art style? Are you talking about me or you? Either way, I don't think I really have a new art style. But if you got a new art style, that's cool. Keep up the grinding. Honestly, this is kind of a weird position, as I've been having my iPad actually propped up, because I noticed the first week I did this, I started having some back issues, so I started getting my iPad to be propped up a little bit while I draw. Yeah, it helped a lot. So now I'm drawing on this flat surface, and I'm kind of like having to hover over it. That's how I always drew with my iPad just a few months ago, but had to change that up. And I did it like that a few months ago because it felt, when I did it like that, it felt the most traditional it could when I did it like that. Because when I had it resting upward, or in the upward position, slightly upward, like, I don't know, certain amount of angles, I felt like I didn't have enough place for my hand to rest, so I felt like it was a little harder for me to actually do what I wanted to do and get the accurate lines I wanted to get, but I got used to it. I have to be versatile. So the other person, I mean, I need to remember their social media accounts, so I can actually say their social media accounts, but the other inker on the project his name's Klain. I really need to memorize their Instas or something, so I can send you guys that way. But they are also, if you do want to see them, they are also in the link of any, I think one of the last posts I did of Madgate, the whole team's linked in the description of that post. So if you have any questions, I can answer them to the fullest ability I'm allowed to. By the way, I will be streaming these pages a lot more often. There's some pages that are definitely off limits in this chapter that I can't go into, so no spoilers for you. It's kind of a good thing that I'm using two different iPads, because I can kind of curate, like, make sure what's on this iPad when I'm inking live, you guys don't accidentally get any spoilers. So I can actually manage both iPads, at least. That's kind of nice. I've also recently got a case for this one, and I actually have it set up as kind of like my monitor out in my actual drawing area. The area I'm in right now is basically an area I set up specifically for streaming. And I remember back when I was doing it, I was kind of like, oh man, I don't know if I want to take my computer away from my actual drawing area. But I realized the only thing my computer did was give me distractions. So I made sure I just had my, now I just work with my phone out there, and now this iPad screen for like reference in front of me. I used to just use my phone for reference or like the slide over tab on the iPad, but anyways, let's get to some questions. I didn't go digital yet because I'm broke. Yes, I understand that. I couldn't go digital for a long time when I was first trying to get better at art, but especially when you're an intermediate artist or if you're still growing, you could just do traditional art. It's fine. Yes, it's always good to like kind of get into the medium that you're going to be sticking with as early as you can, but it's not necessary. You can always get good with everything else without that, and then you can kind of learn everything once you do get the chance to go digital. By the way, I actually saw a brand new product from the Android tablet space, and it's from Samsung. And dude, I forgot what it was called. Maybe I can find it. If anyone knows, definitely shoot it in the comment section. But I think I can find it here real quick. I think it's called the Galaxy Tab S8. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Galaxy Tab S8. Thing's a freaking monster. Of course, it's not cheap. Oh no, yeah, S8 Ultra. Yeah, no, yeah, that's it. It's called the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, and yeah, dang man, that thing is massive. By the way, if any of you need any tablet reviews specifically, the person I actually saw this from was actually MKBHD, I think his name is. I might have mixed up the letters there, but for artist perspective, I went to Brad. Should be, if you type in Brad tablet reviews, you'll find him. Most of you probably know who he is, but he does really good tablet reviews. Thing's a monster. It's huge. It's like a computer. It's like a laptop screen. I don't think I'll ever get it myself because I'm kind of like already stuck into the iPads, because the Apple Pencil is quite good and I like it a lot. So yeah. All right. Let's do this. All right, we're gonna do this. We'll go up like this. And we're gonna head and do this, and then maybe hit this here, and then go ahead and select. I would just use my bucket tool for that because it would be faster, but because I keep my lines at a certain density, it actually catches on those lines. We've got 108 people in here, 70 likes. Remember, hit that like button. Thank you very much for everyone chilling with us. Wait a minute. 108 viewers, 69 likes. Something's wrong here. I feel ya, tradesman Jags. I know. What is up with that? Are you still doing Bounty Skate? Yes, I am still doing Bounty Skate. Finally got an iPad and Procreate. Love it. That's awesome to hear. Procreate's a great app. I use Clip Studio for manga and stuff like that, but Procreate's still a really great app. I use it mostly for painting and maybe some sketching. Alright, I think this is just about good for this panel. I should really... I normally do my bubbles by hand, but I've had to opt out to go with... Oh, what the... the heck going on here? Okay, that was okay. Wow. Um, believe I said it was... Yeah, I thought I said it was 8. Okay. I think that's... might be 9. I think it's 9. I'm gonna lock this. And there we go. There. Now we can actually go ahead and... So I normally do my bubbles by hand, but I opted out to do them. Am I sure that's the same size? Yeah, I think it's close enough. I opted out to do them like this because it's much faster and much more consistent. For my own manga, I'll continue to do them by hand, though. For a weekly production, with the kind of stuff I have to do, it's best to... Maybe I should do that. No. It's best to have a streamlined way to do things, especially like if it's technically I called it a manga, but it's in the webcomic space. Oh, it's webcomic format, but I'm doing it, but you'll see that you can kind of tell it's much more, my hair is in the camera. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Sorry about that, guys. Especially in the webcomic space, it's already pretty much set like this. It's already pretty common for people to do it like this in the webcomic space, so might as well keep it going. Okay, I believe this is... I don't even think this is the same pencil I use. Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. It might be a cleaner one. I need to transfer all my stuff over. What happened to the 2021 iPad Pro? Did you return it? No, I did not. It's actually what is being used right now. You can kind of see it right here. It's what is actually being the camera to record this. Yeah, but it is really hard to do things like comic work on Procreate as compared to Clip Studio. Yes, Clip Studio is really made for creating comics. It has a bunch of little features in it that make everything just more streamlined and much easier to do. In fact, thankfully, our whole team is actually now working on Clip Studio, which is going to make everything so much easier. And since it already shows like the team that's on working on Madgate, um, I guess I can say how many people. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people working on the project, specifically working on it. 7 people, no, 7, 8. I think 8 people if you include letterists and editors. So, as you might notice when you actually read it, there's going to be some panels that are inked by me, some panels that are inked by Klein. For example, right now, this and some parts of panels will be me, and like there's some panels that we both do. For example, this panel, I plan on having Klein actually ink part of Ian here. Ooh, there's some edits I actually need to get back to. Of my own on the storyboard side. I would do them here, but I don't think it would be wise to go through all of the spoilers, so. You'll notice while I'm doing these manga pages, you'll notice that I will be a little more locked into what I'm doing here compared to always on chat, like when we're just chillaxing, because I need to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Until I get, we're going to be streaming a lot more often, and I'm going to be testing out Twitch as well. I'm going to get do it enough over there that I get the affiliation, and then I'll post like the full episode over here if I can actually get that to record on my side, because I'm going to give that a shot as well. By the way, did you know if you're not affiliated or whatever with them, that it's a feature once you get enough watch time there? It's actually a feature for them to notify the people who are following you that you went live. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I could have sworn when I was reading about it, some of the features, that was one of them. And I was like, wow, that is... That's why when I go to stream there, it's just... wow. I just didn't expect that. It's crazy. I need to pull up some reference over here. On my phone, some reference for the character designs. Alright. Also, as for the coloring, as you can see, like who's on the coloring and stuff within my Instagram posts, I'm actually not the colorist on this project. I'm basically the lead artist. So I do oversee the coloring, but I'm not the one that's actually coloring them. Once again, refer to one of my posts on Instapoop for that. I can actually show you which post it is. I believe this is the post. It shows everyone who's involved on the project. So I just wanted to make sure you guys know. Yep, there you go. That's everyone who's involved on the project. Voila. Yep. Currently involved, at least. Because people can always get added. Stuff like that. But that is going to currently be the people we are working with. Should I ink him like this or not? I don't know. I think I'll go in and just do this side real quick. Okay, I'm gonna go in like this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then let's do this. Incorrect. Incorrecto. Perspective is your best friend, Kuzo. Don't be messing up now. There's things I want to get better at, so any series that I do, it's as good as it can be. There's things that I want to improve based on the chapters that I've even done. And I'm still, everyone's always learning. So there's things I'm looking at to improve going forward. So hopefully you guys can see the improvement as we move forward with the project, even though it hasn't even come out yet. But once it comes out, things are going to be rolling fast. All right, so hey, what's up, Astro, with the super chat? Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hello, Kuzo, just dropping in to say good luck on the manga. Thank you very much, Astro. I really do appreciate it, like always. Thank you. Is it okay that I am planning a story for my manga when my art still needs improvement? Yeah, it's fine. It's always good to have something to be working on. I'm going to tell you now, typically, unless, there are outliers, but typically, this is why I would say not to worry too much about it. Just, go with the flow and, do the project. Because you'll learn from it. But typically I say not to worry too much about it because 2 years down the line, when you're better, you're going to be like, why did I worry so much about this? This is garbage. That's typically how it goes, and that's how it went with me. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I got so much better that I was like, wow, I can't believe I thought this was so good, and I spent so much time worrying so much about it instead of just doing the stuff and learning from the process. That is that's something I would recommend, is just kind of jump in with both feet. No one really has their magnum opus right off the start. A lot of people, sometimes it seems like that for creators, but you don't see the behind the scenes of them working for years and having so many different failures until they have that one that popped off and you're like, oh, I've never seen this person before, wow. And then Kishimoto's a really good example of that. If you look into his story, he's a really good example of that, because he ended up failing a bunch of times, and then he ended up finally getting a one-shot accepted, and then after that, every one-shot he did after that, if I'm correct, which I believe I am, every one-shot he did after that was rejected after he won an award, and it really depressed him. And then he went and basically for 2 years went and learned how to write before he studied how to write before he came back to do another one shot. and I believe, I don't know if his first one shot when he came back was Naruto, but I'm pretty sure it was one of them. I think it was the first one, but he came back, and then after learning a bunch, after all that hardship, he ended up coming back and creating the one shot for Naruto, and then creating the series Naruto. But it took him years to even get to that level after winning an award. So, good example of that. No. Yeah, that's a little closer. That's what I'm looking for. Now we're gonna go here. All right. Got 100 people in here. Good to see everybody. How do you manage to capture emotion so well? It's all based on, I don't know, it sounds stupid, but eyes, mouth, and eyebrows. Size of the eyes, how wide eyes are open, how much the eyes are like a little upset like this. It's going over the eye. And then what we do with the eyebrow is like, what if we do this? It's like, really? Or if we do this, now they're angry. If we do this, it's almost like it's a very specific kind of emotion. It's like a sad, but like almost like sad, depressed, deep thought almost, compared to if you just then if you decide to do something like this, you could really see the depression because they're looking down instead. When they're looking up, it's almost like shame. It could be another emotion too, but you have to play around with these things. There's so many different things to do. Like even if the eye is like this and you do it like that, doing this, and then depending on what you do with the rest, with the features here, you can make this a very mad expression. But if you go the other route, you can make it almost fearful. So you got to play around with it. And then when it comes to the mouth and stuff, it does play a big role as well. I would suggest to actually like go ahead and look at emotions in mangas that you like, and be like, oh, I liked it when they're like really mad here, and then look at what their eyebrows are doing, how big their eyes are, if they're wide open, if the eyes are covered a little bit, the actual eyeball part. Oh, I don't know if you guys see that, but the actual eyeball part is covered. Just study what's actually going on compared to an eye just sitting there looking normal. Got 110 people in here. Good to see everyone. Have you read Gachi Akuta? I've seen images around. I actually haven't read it because I don't really go to scanulation sites. I know it's in Japanese on like Shonen Jump Pocket sites, but that's in Japanese, so I can't actually read it, and I'm not going to read it on a scanulation site. I mean, unless it's like published somewhere in English that I don't know about. I mean, if it is, let me know. I don't think it's on the Shonen Jump, the actual Shonen Jump app. If it is, that would be really cool, actually. And I'm not shaming those who use scanulation sites, but shame on you. I used to use it too when I was younger, but I don't go on those anymore. One, because of the ridiculous amount of ads. Two, you're literally feeding these pirates that make, like, you would not believe how much money some of these people make. Hey, what is up, Third? What is up, Third? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. You get to see my bad work. I definitely don't feel like I'm at 100. But when do any art, when is it that even 50% of the time or 40% of the time do we ever feel like we're doing good? Most of the time it's criticism of our own demise. Um, but some are justified in feeling the way they do about their art, and some are not. I believe I am justified about feeling the way I do about my art right now. It must be true. I have to make sure I'm doing this belt the right direction. Okay, cool. To make sure some of this is cleaner. I'm not going to be the one inking it. Long time no talk. Missed you in your streams. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I got to get back onto the streaming, and I will be, because I got stuff to do. Except for the spoiler parts, I got to keep down. Drink some more coffee here. Bad body, sure. Oh shiz. I'm not gonna try to keep it PG for YouTube. See, Twitch is a little bit like better with that stuff, cursing, but someone says, "Oh shiz, the Third is here, another goat." Goat. I was about to go bah, but that's a sheep, right? What sounds do goats make? Like a, right? Plus, they're creepy with their eyes, man. They're over here like freaking, like straight up freaking demons. Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing right now for this goat. I don't even know. This is not even accurate. Goats don't have antlers, right? I don't look at animals enough. Oh boy. The stuff we do. Oh. A lot of this is going to be covered up. I was debating if I should just ink over this rough, but I'm just not feeling confident enough right now. Because it might be faster if I just do another extra rough over it like I'm doing right now. Although I should probably separate some of this stuff, because some of it's going to be for me, some of it is going to be for the other inker. Clean. How am I going to pull this off? Okay. Where can I read your manga? It's going to be on Voice Me. You can also check out my Instagram post. It actually shows one of my most recent Instagram posts of Madgate. It has all the tags. It has the tag for Voice Me and all the other artists. Sorry, I had to burp, but I didn't. That looks like my brother. Well, bro, that's a horse. Do I have to look up a goat real quick? Hey, what's up, guys? I got 82 people in here. We're a little bit lower than normal. That's totally fine. I was afraid if I typed in goat, they do have like antler looking things. I was afraid if I was going to type in goat, I would just see a bunch of rappers. Some of them have antlers, and it looks like some of them don't. Why didn't I remember that some of them do? And they also have floppy looking ears. Some of them have floppy ears, some of them don't. Mine wasn't too far off, okay? Come on, see? Some of them have those types of ears, and some of them have antlers, some of them don't. Like, this one doesn't have any antlers. Look at him. Happy and evil. I'm gonna be back, says third. Hopefully be back soon. Goats be yelling like Shakira. I think that's closer to the sound they make. It's like okay. That I should stop trying to make goat sounds on stream. This is not the best look for me. I don't want to be known as the artist that does goat sounds on his stream. That'd be lovely, just lovely. Just, oh yeah, that's the guy that's working on that one thing that just started making goat sounds on his stream. Think he was being possessed by Satan. Not positive, but pretty sure. No, you guys do not get to see any dialogue on these. I'm not going to be showing any dialogue for you guys. No spoilers. I am going to be inking Tor here. Let's do this. You know, not positive on the perspective. I'm doing him compared to him, but I think it can work. I think it can work. Man, let me tell you, how long have we been streaming for? 48 minutes, man. I'm telling you, when you stream, that looks like me. when you stream, I swear to goodness gracious, you work slower. I mean, it makes sense. You're doing a lot of things at once, but still, I'm just surprised at how much slower I'm working than I normally do. Okay, perspective, that squeeze in. I mean, sometimes during streams, I'm like on a roll. This stream is kind of mid to like slow. I don't like this song. It really sounds like I have a pina colada and I'm chilling like in some sort of like Vegas or something. Which I have never done. And that wasn't sarcastic. I've never been to Vegas and I've never had a pina colada. pina colada. Well, I've never had a alcoholic pina colada. I've had pina coladas from like fast food restaurants. Pina colada. Well, I didn't buy it myself. I don't really care for them. Um, it was where I used to work, Dairy Queen. I used to work at Dairy Queen, so I had pina coladas from there. At least you're not Fujimoto. Not sure what that is. It sounds familiar. Hey, what's up, Limit Straws? What's up, Dominic? First frogs, and now goats. This is progression. Progress. I said progress. Oh, okay, Fujimoto. Okay, so that guy, that is the guy from Chainsaw. Yeah, I know about him trying to levitate. Yeah, I've got 111 people in here. Good to see everyone. Thank you very much. Composition tips for panels. Well, uh, study composition. That is quite literally that is what I would recommend. You want to study composition. Rule of thirds. Golden ratio is debatable, but it's good to learn about it. Golden ratio, I don't really feel like has much merit to it, but it's something. It does, but it's better to learn the rule of thirds, because I believe, if I'm not wrong, though, golden ratio is like one of those things where it's like it basically spirals into like a corner basically, and has like specific focal points. But in my opinion, like, let me look it up just so you guys can see an accurate representation of it, so I'm not messing it up. Golden ratio. Yeah, so this is a representation of a golden ratio. So it spirals down to 1 point. See, one of the reasons why I think it's just kind of like, might as well learn the rule of thirds, which is this. The rule of third, no, the rule of thirds is because basically this point in which is somewhat of a focal point, it's supposed to be found in like flowers and nature and stuff like that. In my opinion, if you learn the rule of thirds, there's supposed to be a focal point around one of these sections. It's either in the middle, you put someone here, here, here. There's specific things you can do with it. In my opinion, this is so close to one of the points of the rule of thirds. You might as well learn this and understand this and study it in film, and it's done a lot in film because of the aspect ratio. It's done a lot in film. But you can also study it in panels and stuff. Like, for example, if I broke this down into the rule of thirds, 1, 2, 3, 4, guess what? Focal point, his head. Focal point, his head. Line of action. It's not actually a line of action, but it goes that direction. We got the bubble here, we come over here, boom, boom. That is essentially, I actually didn't purposely do that, but that's kind of how it goes once you kind of learn the concept of just composition, rule of thirds. Rule of thirds helps composition, and composition is also based on like good ratios of things, where instead of just doing this might be more appealing in some cases. That looks more appealing than the other one, unless you're doing buildings, but I'm talking about design wise. There's big, medium, and small. You can just look up that stuff too. All right, let's get back to work. I can't afford to go on too many rants. I got to do stuff. Yeah, that is not actually how it's going to be going. This is closer to how it should be going. Like this. And that's going to be stupid to ink the way I did it. Hmm. Alright, I'm going to be fully inking this guy. So I'm going to separate this so that way it's easiest for... Oh, I forgot a panel line. Cut, paste. I forgot a panel line. Panels. Black. Bam. Do I want it to be curved or flat? Let's curve it a little bit. Why not? Sure. Let's go back to the sketches. This is going to be mine. Let's say this is clean. Alright. I'll put his there. I'm going to go here. It's actually a bad perspective for the sword, but I think I might keep it there. I don't know. We'll see. What happened to Bounty's Gate? I'm going to be doing Bounty's Gate as well, but I'm going to be working on this project. I'm studying that at college. Oh, you must be talking about rule of thirds or big, medium, small, or even golden ratio. Probably one of those three things you're talking about. Chainsaw Man is so good. I have not read it yet. I know a lot of people have said it's good. I know there's an anime that's either out or it's coming out. Could you maybe do a first issue for... Could you maybe do a first issue for my manga I'm working on? No. I literally have my own stuff I'm working on. I'm also working on this for a company that I'm about to be going weekly for. So that it also doesn't quite work like that. But thanks for the shot. Just letting you guys know, like, any offers like that sent in comment sections of, like, I'm gonna say 99.9% of people, artists online, if they're streaming and someone asks them that, they're either going to completely ignore it or say no. So I'm just letting you know that. Why don't you publish your manga at Saturday AM? Because I work with Voice Me. How long have I been drawing for? A long time. I've been drawing since I can really remember, probably around like 7 or 8, and that was just for fun. I didn't start trying to get serious until 17, and then I didn't really start understanding what it meant to actually get good and how to get good until I was like 24, 25. Have you done NFTs? No. I haven't done NFTs. Someone could have stole my stuff and tried to do NFTs, because I actually know a friend of mine that he had some big problems with that. So be careful with that out in the world of the art space. People are starting to steal people's work and sell them as NFTs. So that's something to keep in mind, the better you get. Anyways, let's get back to drawing here. I do not agree with the way I drew this here. Plus, I have to have it cleaner for clean here. A little bit cleaner. Okay, let's make sure this is clean. I gotta make sure this part's clean. At least clean enough. I thought about using cleaner sketch brushes to make this more clear, but I don't know. I think this, like, if there ever would be a book that would come out from something like this, like the process, the sketches, stuff like that would come out. I like the idea of my sketches looking more so like this than super like digitally clean. I don't know. It's just something I think about later on down the line. All right. Did you go to college to study drawing? No, I did not. When is your manga coming out? This specific project, the Madgate, is coming out this month. It's going to be debuting this month, and it's going to be weekly. As for my own manga, to be continued. Self-taught? Technically, yes, by the general term of self-taught, but there is a discussion going on around that, you watching videos and learning from them is not technically self-taught. You were being taught by someone who is in a video that is sharing knowledge to you. Self-taught would be like not knowing what a wheel is and then inventing the wheel. It's like you not knowing how to draw, never seeing anyone draw, and you end up teaching yourself the concepts of perspective and how to draw all of these things and the techniques for them based on your surroundings and not the teachings of others. But yes, I didn't go to any college or anything. That's technically the point you were going for. But I just wanted to make that point clear. Because down the line, I wanted to make that point clear only because down the line, someone's going to say I'm self-taught, and then someone's going to be like, that's, a more professional is going to be like, oh, really? And then they're going to be like, did you just teach yourself? Did you watch videos? So I was making that point so that way, later down the line, if you did, you would basically have the same response as I did when someone says, are you self-taught? So I just wanted to make sure that people kind of understood that. I used to think the same thing. I would be like, yeah, I'm self-taught because I taught myself, but technically speaking, that is not accurate. Man, I am moving slow right now. Come on, Kuzo. What is this? What do you think this is? A snail's race? Jeez, yo. Okay, let's see roughly what this looks like without... Ooh, that's my one. Let's see what this looks like in a second without the under sketch. Ugh. I need to get better, man. I need to get better. Alright, so this is going to be on cleans. So normally what I do now is I used to work on this whole space like this, but I found that working like this with this part open is much easier for me now. This small space to ink and draw with is plenty. It's like literally almost the same size as a piece of paper this way. When do you ever make a line that's like this long on a piece of paper? You typically don't. I didn't say self-taught. No, someone said self-taught. I don't know if it was specifically you. Yeah, literally, someone said, Bra said self-taught. So I wasn't talking about you. Kyo, I wasn't talking about you. Bra said self-taught. I mean, unless he was talking to someone else. So I'm not sure what you said. Yo, I'm your fan. Thank you very much, Kyo. Unless you're talking to someone else. I just recently started drawing and got better watching your videos. Oh yes, you were talking about me. And past offline streams. Awesome, man. Or chick, whichever. But yeah, I'm glad my stuff's helped. I'm also going to be having I'm going to be trying to do panels and stuff for the main channel as well, doing time-lapse stuff, so that'll be fun. Yeah, Tim Burton went to Call Arts, but his style is extremely unique. Yeah, dude, style has nothing to do quite with where you went. I mean, it can, but particularly not really. Style is one of those things that you typically go to a place to learn the foundations of what even creates style. That is essentially what you go to any sort of academic place for. You go there to learn the foundations of this stuff. They don't teach you a style. I mean, it's possible to teach you a style, but in the end, what matters is you taking what the foundations they teach you and warping that to whatever you want it to be. For example, I don't know what college Takashio Abada went to, but that dude knows how to draw realism like a mofo, and he warps his stuff to his own style. He's better than some realistic painters, but he decides to do what he likes to do, what he's passionate about. I decided to change the perspective of the sword because I knew it was off. I had to do it. I had to. Is this a one-shot? No, it's actually going to be a weekly series debuting this month. What happened to Bounty's Gate is still in the works, and I do plan on, I want to just make sure, I'm going to be doing this, but when I do Bounty's Gate, I kind of just want to go ahead and do that first chapter and put it out, because if I don't put it out, I just have to do it. Basically, I'm not confident in it. I'm about 10% confident in it. But it's fine, because I want to put it out, see the reception. Doesn't matter what the reception is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and do my own studies and see if I can get better. And yeah, that's that. Got to do it. Got to do it. What is your manga called? My manga specifically is called Bounty's Gate, but this is called Mad Gate. This is going to be a webcomic series going weekly, debuting this month. And it's not just mine, it is a team of 8 people, so. What app am I using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint on the 2017 iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. We love you, bro. Thank you very much. Be confident. I appreciate it. It's 8:22. We've been streaming for an hour and 9 minutes. I've tried extending my drawing practice sessions to 5 hours, but I am having trouble focusing because of back and neck pain. How do you deal with that, considering that you probably draw for more hours? Okay, so neck and back pain can have a lot to do with just a few things: your chair, and mostly how you're actually drawing. So when I started doing a lot more hours, as you know, you're not like the young spry chicken that you could be. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't matter if you're young or spry. You so if you're hunching over on a desk that's not tilted towards you, it's going to affect you. So the best thing to do is try to find a way to tilt it forward, whether it's your desk or getting some sort of board to put on your desk and prop it up if you're doing stuff traditionally, or if you're working on a tablet, try to figure out a way to prop up the tablet. That's stuff I kind of recommend. What's down here? Oh, this one. Yeah, we already finished that one. Okay. I don't want to focus on that. Characters. Let's go to some inking. But yeah, that's the best advice I have for back pain and stuff. My back started hurting when I was drawing for it was roughly, I think it was 14 hours straight. I mean, I went and ate for 20, 30 minutes, but well, I was getting some stuff done. And yeah, I noticed my back was starting to hurt, shoulder was starting to hurt, and I had to change that. I actually talked about that in the beginning of the stream, but I had to change my the level of my tablet. That's why most artists have drafting desks. Not always necessary. Like I said, you could either jerry rig it by finding a board or something to prop up, or on your flat desk, or you could literally try to find a way to put stuff under the back parts of your desk, the back legs of your desk, to prop your whole desk up. It's kind of more annoying that way because everything can start falling down. For example, right now my neck is kinked downwards because I am drawing. I might have to try to get this to tilt a different way, because I normally have it at an angle that's I have one of these stand things, and then I typically put 2 more manga books, so it's actually tilted up a lot more. Let me see actually what. See, this looks bad for you guys on the screen. I would have to tilt the camera, which I can't do because of the way it is. I probably just messed it up. Alright, let me bring this back around like this. Clip Studio on Apple is subscription based, right? Yes, you can do it yearly or monthly. I do it monthly. If it's something that you earn money on, it's totally worth it. It's 100% worth it. If you're just trying to get used to some stuff, you can go for Procreate. Procreate isn't quite optimized for streamline manga and comic work. It's gotten better, don't get me wrong. It's gotten better, but it's just not quite there, you know? It's almost there. It's got some cool features, but there are features on Clip Studio where you can lock them and everything to specific ways to do stuff. For example, if I go to try to create a whole new you know who is Brandon Chen? Yes, literally that's who is the writer of this project. It is literally the person writing this project. We're working together on this. This is Madgate, by the way. Or you can call it Madgate, but it's called the Madgate. I miss streaming like this, to be completely honest. I wasn't able to actually stream this stuff for a while. So that's one of the reasons why I wasn't like streaming this stuff at all. So that is a big reason why. But now I'm going to be doing this stuff, and once it goes weekly, we're going to be going nuts. Going nuts. Let's do that, and maybe this, and then take this, and then go whoosha. Seems good to me. Maybe pull this in here, go up like this, and maybe do this. Grab, 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 poke. Or you could always use this feature, which I don't really use, but it's fast. I used this back when I was doing some industry work, but I haven't used it in a while. Maybe I'll use it. I don't know. It's always good to progress and not be stubborn and get stuck in old ways. Alright, so let's move on to some other inking spots. Hey, got a super chat from Mixter D. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, you're saying good job with the emote. Thank you very much. Thank you. Brandon Sheffar? Sheffar? I don't know who Brandon Sheffar is, but Brandon Chen, yes, he's the writer for this project. Brandon Chen has top tier writing. Yes, yes. Madgate, yep. When you look on YouTube, you literally spelled it YouTube. When you look on YouTube, how to draw a body, you have to draw anatomy first, but when Kuzomari draws, he doesn't draw anatomy. Can you make a vid of how to prep your character's body and how to draw in your style? I have kinda some stuff on there. Is Mad Gay connected to Bounty's Gay at all? No, it is not. I know what you mean when you say I don't really draw like my anatomy over, like, because when I do my anatomy practice, I do all like the basic shape stuff like this. And yeah, I know what you're saying. This stuff is the beginning of the important part of understanding anatomy. Yes, I can eventually do anatomy stuff, and I'm actually going to be doing anatomy sheets on my Patreon, where I break down some of the anatomy, because I've been studying the anatomy too. I've actually gotten better at anatomy. Right now, not so much, because I haven't been practicing it, but I've actually learned a lot since the beginning of the year about general anatomy parts and actual like sections where things like connect. I've learned a lot about that, so I'm going to be sharing that knowledge there. But I wouldn't say I'm the best at anatomy. Of course I'm not the best, but I'm saying I don't think I'm really that skilled at it. But practice makes perfect, and studying is the way to go. So that's what I've been doing slowly but surely, and especially during that 300-page sketchbook challenge thing. That actually was a 600-page, but I only did 300 in like 33 days or something like that. It that helped a lot. Looking back on it, I thought it didn't, like, some of the stuff I did there didn't really help, but some of it stuck. Some of it stuck, and when I revisited some of the stuff, it made it stick even more. And that's the whole point of practicing. You have to practice the stuff, and then let it sit, then revisit it, because that's basically really nailing it in. Is practicing 8 hours of drawing every day good for improvement? I would say generally, yeah, it can help, because I mean, the more time you put in, the better. But time doesn't always matter. It matters if you're working smart. But you could work 4 hours a day, but work on very specific things, and do better than the person who's just randomly drawing for 8 hours a day. Hours put in is very important, mileage is very important, but the actual material that you're studying is what's actually important. Make sure I'm not like going off to the side so you guys can't see what I'm doing. Ugh. Must do better. Oh my gosh. I went like this to wipe away some like erase marks. Hey, what is up, Harukami Art? Bro, how can you ink so well on an iPad? On an iPad? Best I got down were some doodles. LOL. Yeah. Hey, no. It's not. No. Dude, my stuff needs to be better. I don't know. It's just I've done my inking and stuff on iPad for so long. Although I do have to say the screen protector I use is a matte screen protector, which really helped me. Not the Paperlike, because Paperlike is a little too squishy for me when it comes to actually pushing the pen down. But it's actually a matte screen protector. I think it's from like Tech Armor or something like that. I'm trying to see if I had the package around here. I think it's called from like Tech Armor or something. I actually really like that one because it's not squishy. It's hard, but it gives you just enough grip that it's not like drawing on glass, which is literally what you're doing when you're drawing on just the screen. But I don't know if you have like a screen protector or not. But good to see you in here, Harukami. Kuzomari says, Hitoro. Thank you. JoJo has the most unique art style. I haven't really read it, but I know it is very unique. Hey Kuzo, is the iPad Pro 11-inch good for making manga? Yeah, I mean, I know a friend that was using, just don't get the 10.5. I know a friend that was using the 11. Actually, I think he was using the 10.5. What's he using now? I think he might have been using the 11. Yeah, no, he was using the 11. And, by the way, that friend I'm talking about is, Project Divider. I was the one that convinced him to actually get the iPad way back when he did get one, and he ended up loving it, and he got the smaller version, and it did him well for a long time, and he was actually, doing work on it. So, yeah. So yeah, you can do manga on it. It's a little bit more cramped, but he recently upgraded to a bigger version and better version, and he said he really likes it. So if you're if you were able to go for the bigger version, it's better future proofing for yourself, I would have to say. Uh, I would have to say that's definitely the case. But if you can only go for the smaller one, yeah, it works. It does the job, man. There's a lot of people who work on the smaller ones. I mean, they're all really fantastic devices, to be honest, especially for their prices. I know the iPad Pros can be like, whoa, they can get expensive, but they're really good. They have somewhat budgety ones that are under $500. Those ones are still good too. You would just get a little less layers because there's a little less RAM in it. But these things are freaking monsters. Which, by the way, it's okay to have a little less layers. You know, sometimes being restricted to have less layers forces you to innovate the way you work, and which is good. Do you draw your anatomy before you draw your characters? What? Wait, what? Please explain. I don't. Are you talking about, do I skip the step of drawing the basic shapes of the anatomy? No, trust. It's my computer. Ah! I had to plug in my iPad. Got 106 people in here. Good to see everybody. Thank you for chilling. We got 201 likes. Digital art, haven't seen that in a while. Yeah. Well, that's what all of my webcomic stuff's gonna be on. All right. I was like, all right. Was this going in the right direction? I don't know. I've been debating on how much blacks I want to add in to this. When I say that, I'm talking about like these blackout spots. I've been debating on style and how to. The style might progress to having a little bit more of these. I don't know. I think it should have a little bit more. Not quite on some of the webcomic levels of how much blacks there are. But I think it adds a certain type of, one, a little bit better of a flow. Two, it gives some lighting direction for the colorists. So I think that's one useful step to having some blacks, but I don't want it to be too dominant. I don't know. Especially since when you actually read the stuff, you'll see the huge amount of manga influence that, at least I would believe that you'd see. I've seen people comment it on some of the stuff. It looks a lot more manga than it does most webcomics do. So that's just because of my background and what I learned first. And I'm hoping it brings something fresh. I don't know. I know people are supposed to like act completely confident about their work, but how can you? How can you and still stay humble? I don't know, man. Have you tried hatching? Yeah, I use hatching for my manga, not specifically for webcomics, because that is a lot more work and it's much more taxing. I mean, look at any webcomic. Most of them don't do like hardcore hatching. I would love to do it. Um, Honestly, I would love to bring a style to the series that has much more manga hatching to it, and the manga, like the colors rely on the hatching, but it's just not realistic with um, the level of a team I would need for that. It's very difficult. It would make it much easier on the color stuff. Ugh, this is gonna be horrible here. What's going on here? Go down, do this, whatever. Do this, kind of pull that in there. Let's do that. Let's call that a knight there. No, that is not a knight there. What the? Grabbed the wrong one. See, on the iPad, I actually always use the 2021 model. I actually have a whole different section for all my pens, so everything's a much more streamlined than what I'm doing right now. I have to the way I'm toggling here is kind of annoying. This needs to be bigger. Some bigger stuff. Let's see what's going on here. This is not the best thing in the world, but I can't be too self-deprecating. I have to be a little nicer to myself, but at the same time, there has to be a mid-ground of what I understand, the level of what I can do in a specific amount of time, but also expect myself to slowly improve over time. And not be, I can be satisfied with some failures, but not be happy about it. Or, yeah. And I wouldn't say necessarily that anything here is particularly a failure. It's just the level of stuff can always go up. No matter if stuff looks good, and that's something that I've kind of expressed to the team is, like, no matter what, everything can always be better, but it's not to the point where, like, having things slowly streamline is important. You know, I don't like how interesting. I wonder if I can. Okay, I'm gonna try something real quick here. Alright, man, I gotta go now. Hope to catch you your next stream. Well, thank you very much for dropping in, Harukami. I really appreciate it. Have a good day or night, whichever it is, where you are. Oh, okay, that's what you guys were talking about up there. I see mangas don't ever use anatomy, they go straight in. No, that's accumulated knowledge of what they're actually drawing. They can skip steps once they've learned enough. That's all there is to it. If you go back and look at my channel and go and look at like some of my sketchbook tours that are called like how I got better at drawing, and it's a sketchbook tour showing you all the bull crap that I did to try to get to where I am now. Basically to be able to skip some steps. It's not that they don't do anatomy, it's just that they understand the basics of those anatomy pieces and they can go straight in like how you think it's magic. It's not magic. Oh dang, it's 5 a.m. Well, get some sleep, man. Have a good one. Dope stream. See you next stream. Gotta head out. See you later. Oh well. Chem Hura. Hura. Huru. Sorry. Bad with names. What a massive bird's eye view angle. Thank you. I don't think it's the best it could be, but we gotta do what we gotta do. And right now, I'm gonna try to do an edit. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. It's how low this thing is. Oh, sorry. Yep, my hair got in the way. Sorry about that. Dang it. Okay, yeah. I think that... Okay, yeah. Yep, that's definitely better. Yeah, I like that a little better. Okay, let's go with that. Is there anything else I have to erase? No, I think that's pretty solid, actually. Alright, merge. And let's go in and finish this off. Wrap. Bam. Let's do this. Yeah, you won't see the other one. Alright. Let's see what it looks like without the sketches. Yeah, it looks alright. Can't spend too much time on everything. They say comics, manga, it's always a balance of quality versus time. And that's the case for pretty much every single one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and actually ink this one. I know I have a background pen around here somewhere. Didn't I make a separate section for the pens? What the heck? Could have sworn I had... Did I just not name it background pen? I think this might be it. Yeah, it is it. It's just I didn't name it background pen. I need to streamline this for the streams. Streamline this for the streams. Ooh. I was going to turn the canvas, but I was like, nope, I got to get my draftsmanship a little bit better. Nope, bad. Decent. It's alright. Not perfect, but... See, I'm typically not too afraid about cutting stuff like that and pushing it up and then just erasing stuff out. The more you do it, the more you get used to it. Some people kind of are a little too afraid of like when they make mistakes and not wanting to cut it and pull up. I'm not too worried about that because I've gotten so used to being able to just cut, pull, and then redraw in what I need to draw in. That needs to be redrawn because it actually does not connect with the other one. It has to go straight down like this. That's a good something I cut there. Same with this side. This side actually needs to be cut down too. Pull over like that. Pull it in like this. Hit that. Boom, shakalaka. Alright, yeah, it looks decent for the sword. People are going to be viewing it at about this size right here. Let's thicken this up right here. It gives a little kind of slight outline, kind of makes it pop a bit more. Let me see how clean this looks. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take Clean's sketch here. I'm gonna rip off what I've inked here. Put it together with my sketch so there's no confusion. Cut, paste. This is gonna be mine. Do that. Go here. Make sure everything's 100%. Collect. Bam. So that means that's what he's gonna be doing. How does it look here? I'm gonna be looking at chat here in just a second. Don't worry. Just kind of trying to finalize some stuff here. Let's make this a little less confusing. Hopefully, you can always ask if he's not sure on some of this. Let's have a piece of grass going like this. Let's make it go a little further over. Let's also have one over here too. Yeah, I would say that's good. Alright. I'll leave that there for that one. Let's go ahead and turn this rough on. Oh my goodness. This background. Have you ever done animation? I've done like animatics before. What's the name of your manga? This is going to be kind of like a web comic, but with manga style. It is called The Mad Gate. My own manga is actually called Bounty's Gate that I will be working on the side, but this is going to be a weekly production, so it's going to be going out fast. So you guys will get some, like about 50 panels every week. Totally cool stuff. Second chapter is going to be much more than 50, not much more, but it's going to be more than 50 panels. Does YouTube Shorts actually help you get noticed more on YouTube? It can help you get noticed more on YouTube. It's not worth it for money, not the thing to go for, but it can help you get noticed a little bit more, but I wouldn't say do it on the main channel. So have a separate channel for them. That's kind of how it goes. You don't want to clutter a main channel with that stuff. That's why this streaming channel, I kind of put out some shorts on here, because this is like an all-around channel where I just throw up stuff that is fun and not what you would consider a main content type channel. But yeah, they can. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull up some reference for this guy. I don't feel confident enough to ink directly over this right now. So I'm going to have to go in and do some sketch overs for this stuff. And some of the stuff I say I don't feel confident enough about right now, because like I'll show you guys once like some of the chapters come out, so it's not like spoiler-esque. Once some of the chapters come out, you'll see when I'm like feeling confident in some ways. I'll like ink directly over this right now. See, technically, if I took it slow, yes, I could have just inked over this part, but his design is also kind of a pain. So I thought I might as well go ahead and just be able to do like at least a quick sketch over this, and get something that I don't have to make too many edits on. I want to avoid that, because there's been times where I've learned my lesson where if I don't feel too confident with it, I'm like, I'm gonna do some sketches over it so I just know exactly what I'm gonna get. Because there's been times, especially with certain perspectives, it's mostly for like things that are in perspective, like actual like mechanical things. I found that if I was pretty confident I knew the perspective and then I went in, a lot of the times it would turn out I was wrong, and then there is a lot of fixing that needs to be done, and that is never fun. Never fun, because you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of this. I should have just done the perspective correctly from the, like done it accurately with like straight perspective lines. Because sometimes when you draw your own perspective lines, what you don't know is if you don't do it correctly, sometimes it will warp your horizon line, and it just messes a bunch of stuff up. It's happened before with me when I was doing a cover for somebody, and yeah, I had to redo a bunch of stuff, not because they wanted me to, but when I went to put in the actual perspective grid, it didn't work out, and I was like, oh my gosh, why did I do this to myself? I said to myself that I could do stuff on, yeah, let's do some sketch stuff here, it's fine. I can go up to page 3 on this stream. From there, there's some spoilers, and I'll have to cherry pick some things. I don't know if I'll be able to stream a whole lot of this chapter in the next few pages and panels, because yeah, big old spoilers, so that kind of sucks. So I don't know if I can do another stream tomorrow with this, at least. That's what's going to be hard about doing streams where I can't show like spoilers. There's a lot going on in these first 3 chapters we have, so there's going to be a little less spoilers as we go forward, like big spoilers, because there's stuff that happens. Big old stuff, let me just say that. Alright, arm. Basically, I'm looking at this reference off to the side here. Boop. There was a time when there's some panels that you guys will see of him in chapter 2 that I inked from like chicken scratch, but yeah, I haven't actually been drawing him that much in the past few panels that I had done, so I gotta look at chat here, jeez. Which iPad are you drawing from, and what pen are you using? I am drawing on the 2017 12.9 inch iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, and I'm using the rough pencil from Clip Studio. It's literally the rough pencil. It's should be a default pencil. I think I may have altered some of it. I don't know. Oh wait, I think this might be something I downloaded from the asset store, to be completely honest. I think it was named something else. Sorry. There's not really much I can say. I mean, it doesn't really matter. to be completely honest. I mean, you could go ahead and use one of these pencils there and it would do the same thing. You get the same result with other pencils here. It's just, yeah. Or go to the asset store and find one that you like for real. There's like a bunch of pencils. You can type in pencil and you can find one in the asset store that will fit your needs. Well, I'm not going to see that past what I have to draw here for his arm thing, or his wrist thing. But this is going to be finger, that's going to be finger, this is going to be finger, that's going to be a finger, that's a finger. He has like claw-ish fingers, so. Okay. See what I mean? This is a pretty clean sketch. If I would have just taken my time, I could have inked over this. I just wasn't in the confident state or focused enough state to kind of do that confidently, and I didn't want to mess up too much because I am on stream, so I might as well. I'm kind of a little distracted and all over the place right now. Hey, what is up, young wavy? Just glad to see you working and releasing content pretty soon. Yes, it's going to be panels and panels and panels. Let me tell you that. There's easily over 160 panels currently that we have. When learning to draw the shapes in perspective for figures, am I supposed to draw from reference, my head, or both? Oh, I see what you're saying. No, draw from. Okay, if you're drawing from what you see in your head, Okay, okay. If you don't know something and you try to draw it from your head, you're going to most likely draw it wrong because you do not know it. You want to draw from reference. You want to do studies of things in order to learn. And then those things that you learn, you can draw from your head. But there is such a thing as putting 2 and 2 together, or 1 and 1 together. It's kind of like, I don't know how to draw every single position, but understanding the basic shapes of everything, like cylinder-esque shapes, I can then know how to then look at maybe a leg or something, understanding form and cylinder-esque shapes, just a bunch of basic shapes. I can then go into anatomy and learn how to do this in like form. Once I know that, everything here is going to have this kind of form line, it's going downward. Yeah. Going from your head is only from stuff that you actually know. That's the best way to put it. How many hours a day do you devote to your craft? When I'm actually working like on a project, depends on the day, but I can work anywhere from 5 hours to like 15 hours. So yeah, it really depends on the day. Sometimes I'll wake up at like 3 in the morning and I'll work until like I'll work all the way until like 6 or 5 in the afternoon. You'd be like 3 in the morning. Sometimes I have a hard time sleeping and I wake up and I just start working. Other days, I don't. Some days I only work like 5 hours. Dropping gems. Any of you all in chat use Procreate? How do you feel about it? Procreate's pretty good. I mean, if you don't want to pay a monthly thing, it's a good way to get into digital work. You draw in Clip Studio Paint? Yes, I do. Quality over quantity? Depends. Like I said, drawing comics, web comics, manga, it's literally time versus quality. So it's hard to say. Alright. What time is it? Okay, man. Now I have to decide what I want to leave for Klein here. I think I know what I'm going to leave for Klein. If you guys don't know, Klein is the other inker on the project. See, now for like these background stuff, I am most definitely going to be going ahead and just going straight in. I'm not going to do any rough sketches on that, because when you actually have like the perspective grids on there, it's not very hard to do stuff. Okay, so by the way, guys, remember to go check out my my Twitch, because I will be starting to try to do a couple test live streams over there, because I want to try to get to the affiliated mark on there, and then kind of see which area I like to stream in most. So I will always be putting my extra lives over here. The ones I do over there, I will be re-uploading over here for people to watch. So that is one thing. But I'm going to be testing some stuff over there, probably at different times than I normally stream on here. So there are going to be probably different times, just so that way, you know, I learned recently that I think it's a feature to actually get notified of someone streaming over there. I believe it's an actual feature to get notified of that. Just freaking insane. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's what I read. And if that's the case, that is nuts. And I kind of want to get that feature so that way when I go live over there, people know I'm live over there. Because that's why I go over there and I only have like 30 or 40 people watching me live. And I'm like, what in the actual world? But yeah. So I kind of want to get that going, just so that way I can see the differences. I've heard Twitch is a little bit better, but we'll see. If it does work out to be a little bit better, it's more seamless to stream over there. Let me put it that way. There's a lot more things I actually have to do to stream. Like the prepping process to stream on both platforms is completely different. The other one, I just kind of hop on, put a title in, boom, I can push stream. That's all. There's a lot of things here with tags, thumbnails, kind of annoying stuff. So it is a little harder to stream on here, or at least the prep process. So it would be nice if I could actually just stream on Twitch. But we'll see. Things could always change. If it works out well, this channel will be for uploading that, and also shorts and like other stuff. This is kind of like the cool little dump channel. So it's actually done pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with what you guys have brought this channel to be what it is. It's kind of cool. See the community here too. That's what is gonna kind of suck when I go to stream over there. Kind of miss how the community over here is with the streaming and stuff. It's really fun. Yeah, because on Twitch the streams delete by themselves. Yes, they do, but they stay there for like a week, I think, something like that. But I would still upload them here. Yeah, it's true. I get one all the time when Third is going live. Exactly. So Third is already affiliated. I am not affiliated because Third, that's his primary streaming platform. Dude, when I was looking up the requirements, I swear it says that get like notifications for your followers is a feature that is mind-boggling. So if you start streaming there and you're not affiliated yet, the bar of trying to actually get to that point of having a certain amount of concurrent viewers, uh, it and the hours, it's pretty hard, to be honest. Like if you don't have a following on any other platform, it's pretty difficult at first. I think affiliated is the right word too. I know there's two different versions of bars you can meet over there for. I think affiliated is the right word. Affiliated, you'll get like ads and stuff that you can put on the videos, and you get special features. All right. 107 people in here. Good to see everybody. It actually sends like 2 notifications when someone goes live. That's what I get when people I watch stream. Yeah, I think they're probably affiliated, and it doesn't take if you're streaming like 3 times a week for like 2 or 4 hours. You can get affiliated pretty fast like that. The only part that's hard, other than racking up time, is your concurrent viewers. I don't think I will have a problem with that, only because I have you guys and Instagram and Twitter, kind of. Twitter's like me. But yeah. Just looking at some instas. Hey up! See you. See, you got some new music. Not quite. It's just we've been streaming so long, it went onto the butt part of the music that I have. I say butt part, just that the music that normally doesn't play. I always start playing at the same song. uh, so it seems like I always had the same music, which I do. I guess I could always fast forward to like this music in the beginning and then start going to some of the OG music. I do eventually need new music or learn about other like copyright free music stuff. It's just I haven't really taken the time to do so. Oh, my foot. Ooh. I should not have put my foot there. Ah. For those of you who are here in the not here in the beginning of the stream, I had actually fractured my foot, and I put it in a weird position, and I shouldn't have done that. Oh gosh. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. I'm trying to make this clean enough to be understandable for the inking. Because this is going to be for the other inker. I am not going to do this one. I think this is good. Oh, well, there's not going to be anything there. Yeah, there's nothing there, so I have to go down. Dang, my foot hurts now. Jeez. Oh gosh, my dog hears something. She was like, woof, 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 woof. Alright, there we go. That should be good enough. Alright, let's do this. Now I have to pull up another reference off to the side. We've got 95 people in here. Good to see everybody. Oh, that's rough, man. Oh, you must be talking about my foot. Is it easy to draw on the iPad digitally? For me, it is. I've been doing it for so long. Anything you can really get used to the longer you do it. But yeah, Kuzo, you have Spotify playlists? I have Spotify, if that's what you're asking. I do have Spotify. What program are you using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint on the iPad Pro 2017 model, 12.9 inch, 256 gig. Kuzo, why don't you simply stream your iPad screen and with a camera and not with a camera? Oh, the reason for that is because people actually like seeing the process of my hand moving around. I could do my iPad screen, it's just not as interesting. That is why. I could always just stream the screen, but people like seeing my motions and my actions, so I do it for interest and engagement. It feels more engaging and alive. Let's skip this song. Got 99 people in here. Good to see everybody. We got 247 likes. He streams with camera because it makes it easier for us to learn his strokes. At least that is how I see it, and I actually prefer artists record from above. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. It's engagement. You can see my hand moving. It's more personal, in a way. That's what I like to describe it as. It's more personal. Instead of just a computer screen that you're looking at. If the quality's roughly the same, I think it's worth it. Because, would you rather see a computer screen? I mean, I wouldn't. Because people like seeing this. I'm moving my hand, the way I'm doing stuff. It is definitely more engaging to see a hand move, and that's statistics I've seen throughout all of my videos. Not to say that anyone who does it recording through their screen, it's bad, because there's people who do it and are very successful with it. It's just, I do feel like this is a bit more engaging. And I think it keeps the quality just fine, as long as, like, when you're coloring, it kind of blows out some colors a little bit, but... Okay, I need to keep this cleaner. I can't do this stuff. Okay, let's do this. Back of the head. Oh, I really gotta go to the bathroom here. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We will be going somewhat soon. Just letting you guys know, Kuzo's hand is hot. What? Nijuro, come on now. Will there be new uploads? If you're talking about my main channel, yeah, there will be. And yes, I agree. It does feel more engaging, and I like it. Yep. That's what I always felt. Well, you're still alive? Awesome. Thought I would miss half. Yeah, we're just kind of working here, so. I will be going somewhat soon, though. Don't worry, I can't wait to leave you guys. Just messing with you. I need to go back to some of my arm studies that I've done. Been doing some arm studies recently. Oh, excuse me. Dang it. Oh, bag. That's an eraser. Alright, so rope here. Okay. How are we going to do this? That way, this way. This way. Yeah, I think this is a little better. Let's just go this way. Hey, we got 92 people in here. Good to see everybody with 252 likes. If you go to Twitch, please keep uploading the full stream sound. Yes, I will be. If I do go to Twitch, I'm going to find a way to... I'm probably going to record the episode as I'm doing it, and then I'll download onto my computer, so it's not going to be a completely compressed file, and then I'll re-upload it onto YouTube. But then it compresses it again, so hopefully it looks decent. Do you recommend the Huey on Canvas Pro 16? I do not know. I haven't used one. We'll see, though. You working on a manga / comic panel? Yes, I am. It's called The Madgate, and it's going to be released weekly this month, starting this month, on Voice Me exclusively. No, I kind of want to stream for maybe another 20 minutes or something, but I do have to go to the bathroom. So let's go ahead and go red, and let's go big old thing, and B, R, B, and it's going to be Be right back. Oh, my foot. Alright, I am back. I don't know if you guys heard my dog. Thought I was some sort of intruder, apparently. And then she wiped her nose on my glasses. So now there's a smudge on my glasses. Fantastic. Taking too long is probably number 2. It was not number 2. Uh-oh. Great. Now I'm going to have to back... I should have made a new layer. Dang it. Darn it, and my glasses have this smudge on them. Thank you, dog. Alright, so let's go over here. Boom. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do this. I need... I keep on forgetting this isn't me who's going to be inking this panel, this part. I have to be a little bit more accurate. Okay. Clean. Clean. I gotta keep it clean. Maybe I should ink this arm plate. I think I should probably ink this arm plate myself. Because this is kind of confusing the way it is. Fast break from the West. I get the glasses struggle while drawing. Yeah, man, my glasses smudge way too much. I like the hand in the sketch. I don't know which one you mean, but you're probably talking about this one. That's the most recent one I did. Thank you very much, though. Can you please explain the triangle you use for faces? Oh, you're talking about the ratio, triangle ratio. I'm talking about when I draw the head. And then I go ahead and do this. this is the triangle ratio. And that ratio is the eyes, nose, mouth. It's a ratio. That's what it is. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna ink this arm myself. So I'm gonna cut this and put it onto my sketch layer. Just so that way I've learned it help keep things clean in what I'm going to be doing and what he will be doing. Ah, shoot. When you merge those, you always have to remember to put the opacity back up. All right, there we go. Okay. So now from here, go back up to claims. What we're going to do is go up here, boom, come down here, boom, shikalaka, boom, that way, and then one more here, and we're going to go down here, boom, 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 boom. Shouldn't do that. Still a little dirty over here. Hopefully you'll get it. Oh, hold on a second. Oh no, I think I have to sneeze. Okay, it stopped. I got 87 people in here with 260 likes. Thank you very much. Awesome to have you guys in here. If it makes you feel better, I'm legally blind. Oh, that sucks. Onan K. Well, sorry to hear that, man. Really am. Hopefully you can still do what you want to do, man. Haikuzo says, Shay is quasi. What is up? I just followed you on Instagram. Thank you very much, Adams. Aiden, free art lesson. Yeah. Hey, Kuzo. Hey, what's up? What's up? A little loud. It's on the inside. Okay. I'm just going to do that. All right. Gotta get this a little clearer. It's kind of all messed up down here. Dude, the smudge is driving me insane. The smudge on my glasses. Goodness gracious. Oh, Kuzo, I have a question regarding foreshortening. How do you know to place a character on the floor, implying that they are standing on it and not floating? I struggle with this. That has a lot to do with perspective. For example, these two, based on the perspective they're in, this guy and this guy, I made sure they were both basically based on this horizon line. I made sure that their heads, if I did a vanishing point here and they're directly behind each other, that their heads were in the same perspective line. So the ratio of how big they are is perfectly matched because I imagine them to be about the same height. So that's one thing that you can also look up in perspective, like little tips like that. When they're not, if their heads were on the horizon line, that means their heads would be in the same, it would just be, their heads would both be like right there, or one head would be bigger, one head would be further away if someone was in front of the other person. This is how I made them feel like they're actually in the spots they're supposed to be relative to where they're standing. As for making them feel like they stand there, you're going to have to learn perspective for that. And starting with like 1 point perspective, like this box here, and then being able to draw someone technically standing inside this box where their feet are like this, that is, they are now actually standing there. First of all, you want to learn how to draw someone being able to stand there and make it feel like somewhat natural. I started from a really dumb place where their feet is, but the reason why I started it there was because I wanted to make the example of where the feet were placed on the ground, because you said you wanted to make them feel like they're standing there. So I wanted to start in that spot. Notice these are super simplified shapes. And voila. It's really all about learning perspective. So, being able to draw things standing in that perspective and whatnot. Okay. So I think we're ready to start with the inking. Like I said, I am going to be going pretty soon here, though. Another 8-hour stream. No, we are not. What am I working on? I'm working on The Mad Gate. It is a new weekly series that's going to be debuting this month on Voice Me. If you want to know a little bit more about it and what Voice Me is, you can always look them up or go ahead and check out my Instagram. It's the second post there. In the description of that post, it shows everyone who's working on it and the link to Voice Me's Instagram, which their link will also be to their website that this will be debuting on weekly. 50 panels. Boy. Alright. So, now, so. I will do the background another time, but I'm sure we want to see the characters being inked right now. So, the slightly grayed out one is going to be, oh, my camera started focusing. Slightly grayed out one is going to be the one I am going to be inking right now. And I know I said that weird because I felt like saying it weird. Because I'm going insane. I'm going a little bit insane. Maybe I'll show my puppy to you, which isn't such a puppy anymore, but it will be kind of hard to get her around here with my foot the way it is. Someone mentioned Elden Ring, finally. Have you been playing Elden Ring? It's so much fun. I have been playing some Elden Ring, yes. I've been working on this, but I have been playing some Elden Ring on my free time. It is super cool. I love it. It's really fun. The one thing about it is it's not Bloodborne, obviously, but I wish they would have added a little bit more Bloodborne element and less Dark Souls element. But I still love it for what it is. I really do love it. So I'm going to be playing it a lot. I'm going to basically be replacing Bloodborne with it. I might hop on Bloodborne every once in a while, but the community on there is only going to grow and thrive, which is going to be cool. Although, let me tell you, the PvP community on there, freaking ridiculous. I need to learn how to make... See, I learned how to make PvP builds in Bloodborne just fine. That was something I learned to do, and I learned what to do, how to do it, what gems to get, what level to do it at to get your best result, and like I have easily over 10,000 kills on there in PvP. Yes, over 10,000. Over 9,000. But yeah, I have a lot of kills on there, and yeah. The moment you go over like level 35, like the PvP community on there, there's people who just they know how to make a build, and they'll just completely just clap you. And truth is, in PvP, strength has very little to do with the PvP build. So that's one thing I'm starting to learn in this specific game. So I never did PvP in Dark Souls, but this is definitely closer to that, I would have to say. Anyways, enough about that. Elden Ring is so much fun. Been non-stop since I got it, in between work and drawing. Yeah, same, exactly. What about the manga you were creating for Webtoon? You're talking about Bounty's Gate. Yes, I will be still doing that, don't worry. I want to make sure I actually just get that first chapter out. And I'm debating on a few things on when I do finish the first chapter, what exactly I want to do. If I want to just post the pages, or if I'm going to splice the panels into a Webtoons format. I'll see. How do you practice anatomy? How do you practice anatomy? You asked that twice. The best way to start practicing anatomy is by learning how to draw simplified shapes in perspective, and then being able to once you are able to do that type of stuff, you're going to want to learn form a little bit further, and going into anatomy from there. You could try to learn some anatomy like in between this stuff, but the basis of what you're going to want to learn is you're going to want to learn how to draw basic shapes in perspective, and then you're going to want to further your knowledge on form, and then you'll be able to overlay anatomy a lot easier after that. So the whole point of this is basically saying that you want to learn how to simplify the body down into much simpler shapes like this, so you can know how to put these really simplified shapes into perspective, because they're much more simple. You have to start off with the simple stuff. You don't start off with multiplication before you start off with addition. It just doesn't make any freaking sense. So you have to start off simple, because basically it's like saying, I want to learn anatomy, but you don't know how to draw a cylinder in perspective. You can learn how to draw anatomy, it's just not going to look good. You can learn the concepts of anatomy and the name of it and the placement, but you're not going to be able to draw it super well. Or proper, should I say. So this is just a generalized idea, but now if I go over here and use this pen, we could actually
go in and draw the anatomy, almost like overlaying. Ew, this is bad. Overlaying the actual anatomy on to these very simplified shapes. This is essentially what you want to learn how to do. And I'm not saying you have to learn how to draw these mannequin shapes perfectly before you go off and start practicing anatomy, but in order to fully understand anatomy, in an artist's way, to be able to draw it in different perspectives and stuff like that, and not just the name and placement, you're going to want to learn how to draw simplified shapes in perspective. That's just all there is to it. Yeah, so that's general concept there.
Got 89 people on here and 176 likes. Thank you very much. Can you share your brushes? I'm looking for a good brush. Oh, you can really use any brush, to be honest. This is my settings for this brush. It's like, yeah, right here. This is the settings for this brush. You could take the G pen and literally do these settings and it'll be the same as mine. Mine says mapping pen, but it doesn't really matter. You can clip that. You should be able to rewind it and pause. But so Bounty Gate isn't done yet? Wow, it takes a long time, huh? Yes. I haven't really been working on it consistently. But as you can see, it's not that there's been my own reservations with it. As you can see, it doesn't take that long. It just depends on how much you get to work on it. Because I've been doing a lot of other stuff. As you'll see with this project coming out with 50 panels a week, takes a long time. For Bounty's Gate specifically, I really just need to finish the first chapter and put it out, because that's the start. It's like, you gotta rip off the band-aid. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in it, and that's what's halted it. That is exactly why, and there's no two ways about it. I could have had it finished a long time ago. And this is where... And I'm not... See... Yes, my art can always be better, but my reservations on it, my critiques in my own head, my fears for it, is the writing aspect. And the fear comes from not having enough knowledge on writing. And I think that's going to come through in the first chapter, possibly. And chapters to come. But knowledge is power. So I want to throw that first chapter out and just say, boom, it's out. Like, get it out there, you know? And then, after that, I'm going to go ahead and do some writing study and see if I can do better, you know? Because the whole reason I was afraid to do stuff with art when I was a little less experienced was because I didn't understand. I didn't have the knowledge of what I have now, where... I don't like the way I did that part of the arm. I didn't have the knowledge I have now. So I understand composition. I understand most, good anatomy. And if I don't understand something completely, I know how to find the reference for it. Not specifically to copy, but to learn from. Pinterest, search it up, stuff like that. That's how I've been learning my anatomy. I've been searching up on Pinterest. But, How many pages have you inked for your webcomic manga? Are you talking about this one I'm working on right now, or are you talking about Bounty's Gate? This is Madgate, and this is for an exclusive webcomic series for Voice Me. And one thing I have to say about Voice Me, guys, is one thing I like about Voice Me is, unlike some of the other webcomic platforms, they are very action oriented. They do have other genres, of course, they do, but they don't really stiff the action genre. Some of the other webcomic platforms, I noticed that a lot of their more popular titles that they push are much more romance based and stuff like that, and some kind of comedy based too. And I've noticed that there are some like more shonen ones on some of those ones, but Voice Me is very much so. If you like shonen stuff, it's gonna be leading more towards that audience, which I think is really cool, and it's new for the webcomic space, because the webcomic space hasn't, for specific platforms, haven't really been action focused, if you really look at their top titles that they push. So I think it's really fun. Alrighty then. Weekly schedule is never easy unless you have like 3 pages. Haha. Yeah, I know. We're doing 50 panels. For Bounty's K, DK, if. Do you know if I spell. Oh, don't know if I spelled it correctly. Bounty's Gate. Yeah, you spelled Bounty's Gate, right? Araki's manga theory book is as well as. I have the one from the JoJo's guy, How to Write Manga, and I'm going to read that one. I also have another How to Write book that's more novel based, but I could still probably pull some information from that if I actually go ahead and read it. I'm going to download Twitch just to watch your streams. Hey, thank you very much, Emerson. Comics in America tend to not get a lot recognition sometimes. If you're talking about like Western, are you talking about like manga styled comics from manga style creators in the West, or are you talking about comic books specifically, like Western comic book style? In my opinion, I think Western comic book style is starting to one, reach a bit of a limit with some of it, and two, the style manga has started to take over the younger generation because of how expressive this specific style is. Manga style. Yes, I actually talked to my friend about this. And we had a pretty nice discussion about this. It's actually something we noticed from the time we started talking over 2 years ago to now. We've noticed a massive shift in specific markets, and in the West, this might be a bit of a controversial, edgy opinion, but manga style in the West, or not specifically manga style, but manga format in the West, is much less realistic to make a living on than if you were to decide to go webcomic based. And especially within the next 3 years, you'll see something in the West specifically with that format. I believe the format in the West for actual success is starting to shift much more for the manga style, not the format, is shifting towards web comics.
and less so manga platforms. Sorry about the background noise. Let me know what you guys think. But based on one of my friends that's pretty deep in the industry and what I've been seeing as a shift, I really believe this is true. The only places you can really succeed, like being a strictly manga format based creator with that type of style, is France. I know has a pretty good industry for that. Russia has a bit of an industry for that too, and Japan does. And if you're thinking about moving to Japan and becoming a manga artist, the likelihood of that is so slim it's not even funny. It's already slim enough to actually become a mangaka in Japan when you speak perfect fluent Japanese, let alone having to learn Japanese, go over there, compete in a market where you're more than less likely to actually get published. There are some people who have done it. You'd be much it would be much easier to publish from online as a webcomic creator. This is something I've started noticing, even though I have a love and passion for the manga format. This is something I've started to notice as a shift in the Western comic type market, if you will. Very rare indeed, yes. Any advice for improving drawing line, basically? Anything on iPad? Well, you're just gonna want to get better at one. There's stabilization. That'll always help. I have mine at 37 for this specific type of pen. Other than that, I would have to say you just have to work on your draftsmanship and doing stuff like, learning how to make perfectly straight lines like this, or practicing draftsmanship like doing this, and then trying to follow that almost exactly. That type of stuff is going to help you. Your draftsmanship is what's going to help you, and maybe doing stuff like this: thick, thin, thick, thick, thin, thick, that type of stuff. So that's some stuff that can help. Japan is hard, but it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. Nothing that's within reasonable possibilities to do. I'm not talking about flying, but anything that's in reasonable possibility to do that has a percentage of being able to do it, it's possible. It's just the level of work and luck you would have to have is insane. I have a friend that lives in Japan, and he's told me about the industry, and he's told me about stuff over there, and it's very, 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 very difficult, even if you're a fluent Japanese speaker and you're extremely good at drawing. Basically, he knew this. He ended up meeting this guy that was at a level that was like above both of our levels, and the guy was basically talking about how hard it is to actually get published in Japan, and he was like a really good artist, and that's why a lot of people end up settling for becoming really good assistants, and then maybe down the line they get lucky with the series, and that's what you see a lot actually out there. You see people like the guy who made, I think, what was the one that was like that Red Riding Hood one? That person worked under Horikoshi for as an assistant, and he got lucky and he got a series. Guess what? It ended up getting axed, but imagine how many other people actually try to get in there as well. The likelihood, like basically, if you've ever read Bakuman, let me put it this way. Basically, Bakuman is a glorified, easier way. It's even harder than what Bakuman actually displays. It's harder than what they display in that manga, because you wouldn't want to discourage people. They want to make it seem hard, not impossible, but it's almost impossible. But like I said, nothing's impossible. It's just when I'm talking about sheer availability in the West, webcomics has much bigger availability. But that's just my 2 cents on it. That's something I've noticed within the industry. How do you shade manga like black and white? That's kind of a hard one. It's like a generalized thing. It's like, for one, you want to learn how to even shade in general. Two, um, I don't know. I would have to say go ahead and study other stuff. I can't really show you anything right now because this isn't technically manga style, but you want to study the ratios of blacks to whites that people use, certain creators that you like use. Um, there are different ratios of blacks to whites to screen tones different creators use. For example, Kira Toriyama is an old example, but still an example, as well as uh, Kishimoto. If you look at his work, there's a huge there's a pretty big difference between Horikoshi's work with the black ratios and screen tone ratios compared to Kishimoto's. Kishimoto very rarely uses screen tones, and when he does, it's more a flat screen tone and not detailed. Horikoshi, he uses so Kishimoto uses solid blacks. That's another thing. Horikoshi uses not always solid blacks and actually puts shadows and or shades or highlights into some of the black areas and does specific hatching. Kishimoto doesn't do as much hatching. These are the things you want to pay attention to. Now, when it comes to actual shading, there's going to be a light source. So if something was black, for example, I decided this was going to be black, I would say, let's say maybe the light source is coming from this direction, and you go, blah, blah. Let's say we're going to do this. This is just a quick version of it. You're going to want to learn lighting. Because now, if we do this, this, generalized idea. This is, not that great of an example, but you get the idea. You're going to want to learn lighting a little bit, That's a really bad version, but lighting's coming from over here. Try to make some shadows. That's the general idea. But you need to figure out what style you want to go for on that. Alright, well, let's keep on going. Leg, let's say the leg's going to come down over here. Alright, there we go. Let's do this. This coming around like that. Coming down like this. Coming over like that. Going over like this. Going like that. Let's create a black. And boom, shakalaka. All right, I think we're very close to being done with him. All right, let's go down, down, down like this. Boom, 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 shaboom. It looks like without the sketch, and it looks pretty okay, I think. All right.
Okay. Hey, Young Wave with the super chat. Thank you very much. It's honestly a tricky subject because you see lots of artists that are not as talented getting extremely popular. If your work is decent, it's about fans. It's also about consistency. So if your work's not super top par, but you have a pretty good series and you're consistent, those people will stay there, and you will have an not a decline. You'll have a rising fan base, and while your fan base is slowly rising, your work will also get better. So it's kind of both. Consistency is super important. It doesn't matter if you're super good if you're not super consistent. Just like I haven't been. So when I was super consistent on YouTube, even when I wasn't good, I made it to the level I got, and I slowly rose to the level of where I am with my art. And so by the time I started popping, I was good at drawing. I was decent at drawing. And so you have to grow with your audience. You have to stay consistent. And then I didn't post as much, and I was better. Guess what happened? Not much. And it just makes sense. The less you put out, the less people are going to be engaged. And it's, yeah, and word of mouth, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's true. And if there's anyone out there that's super envious of like an artist that you believe is worse than you, that's getting more exposure, take a look at yourself and what you're doing, that other person, what that person's doing that you're not doing. That sometimes is a strike of luck because they are doing it so consistently that they got the strike of luck that you wanted. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, you know. Jealousy is an ugly thing. You gotta be realistic. I used to be, that guy that was like, I deserve more. Until I was like, I deserve more if I'm actually doing the work. I don't know if I should do it straight or should I have like a tilt to it. Let me see. This might be cool. Let's just add a little tilt to it. Might as well. But by the way, thank you very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it, Young and Wavy, like always. But yeah, hopefully some people take a little bit of that little my kind of hot take on that, the heart. Let me look up here based on some of the stuff I said about the webcomic stuff. Kind of curious. An American mangaka named Philip something Smith. Philip P. Smith got a published manga in Japan named Pipuchu, but the grueling demands were too stressful for him, so he returned to America and to do comics. Yeah, I mean, it's a very grueling process over there, and we're talking about a very, 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 very small percentage of any person to get over there to be actually successful as a mangaka. in Japan. And I don't even know if there's been any, like, other than him, maybe any actual successful, long-going mangaka that are foreign. I do know the people who did Twin Exorcists made it over there and, got some success. Some good success. They got an anime. It wasn't a one-to-one adaptation, but they still had a long-running series. And that was one of the success series that's really cool. And I think Boichi is even foreign to Japan. I don't think... I may be wrong, but I don't think he was born in Japan. But I could be wrong. The world is changing. I'm sure we'll see a non-Asian foreigner make it big in Japan in the future. I believe that the market in the West is shifting so much towards webcomics that there's going to be no huge distinction because everything's moving to online anyways, and people are starting to idolize webcomic creators just as much as a mangaka in some cases. It's going to be interesting to see how the market shifts. Because if you're over here and you like manga, it's interesting, but mark my words, things will shift. Because the more webcomics that get animes, the more people would be like, in the West would be like, oh, I like this anime, it has webcomic, I'm going to do webcomic. Boom. I know a lot of people that actually love manga, but they're doing webcomics because it's the one place, the one thing that's actually popping and able to make a living off of in the West. When I say the West, I'm talking about like Canada, US, like most English speaking places. Like I said, France has a pretty decent actual manga system going on over there that you could actually get published. Like in America, let me just be frank, there is not an actual big time manga industry that you would be able to do a manga consistently and actually get paid for it. Like make a living on it. You can make your own empire, yes, and there are some companies that you could go through if you have a big enough following that then you would be able to monetize that audience you get from that platform. But the platform you would have to have a big enough platform because most of the companies that are over here in the West, they're not big enough to give you the platform to be completely sustainable. From what I know, I could be wrong, like I said, this is just my experience. Because even if the West is improving, Shonen Jump is still the most widely recognized and best, I guess. So yes, Shonen Jump's going to be the most widely recognized and best, and here's the thing. I don't know why they would invest... So the thing is, there is an industry of webcomics that is starting to rise at the same time that Shonen Jump could technically dabble in putting their feet into the Western market from creators that want to become published, which they started to do with Viz Media. But Viz Media is not doing it in a published type of format, weekly format. They're doing it in a volume-esque format where they, from what I know, they're publishing it by volume, not by a weekly standard or even a monthly standard. They're doing it by volume, from what I understand. And that means Shueisha, which is Shonen Jump, I don't know how much they're going to want to dip their feet over here, especially with the rise of actual webcomic format and the possibilities you have there. Because webcomics, in the end of the day, it's a team of like 4 or 5 people, sometimes maybe 3. So you get 3 to 5 people that end up making enough that they can actually live off of this stuff. And depending on how you negotiate it and how good you are. And it's a super interesting conversation because as much as you have to be as unbiased as possible when looking at this stuff. Let me just say, 10 months ago, I wouldn't have had the same exact opinion. Now that I've been watching and I've been analyzing what's been going on, things are going to start
the industry is very interesting, let's just say, at the very moment. There's things I know that I'm not going to say, that you'll see come to light. I'm not just randomly saying this, just based on like looking at, uh, just looking at web comics. It's other things and other big time companies that are making moves behind the scenes that you don't know about because they're not putting their name on it specifically. They're doing little funding things where they're called investors, and they invest in something without putting their name on it just in case it fails. But if it succeeds, it's like, oh, we're the investors, and yeah, let's just put it that way. Second request for dog reveal. Yeah, I guess I could throw up the dog here in a little bit. Yeah, but the West doesn't have good studio connections like Japan. Even if you get an anime and Webtoon, it's not like it will be animated by a madhouse like a Shonen Jump series. Guess what? There's a first time for everything. There was no such thing as a Japanese animated web comic series ever until the past, what, year and a half, 2 years. All of a sudden 3 of them came out. Like Tower of God, like stuff like this is starting to roll out. These companies are starting to get connections, and it's you never know what's actually going on behind the scenes. You may not think it's possible, but if the series is good enough and it's popping off, people will reach out to you a lot of the times and try to ask for specific types of rights, contracts for series. Like one of my friends, like I'm telling you, like they're in this stuff, and yeah. Well, you'll see. Like for example, like all these like Netflix original animated series, they're funding these, but they're being animated by a Japanese studio. Like, and I started calling this. I started calling out when I was talking to my friend. I started calling this, like, it was about a year and a half ago. I started calling what started happening because Netflix is getting interested in the web comic industry. They really are, and yeah. And I was like, I knew it, man. I don't know. Really fun conversations. I could be wrong, but I've predicted some stuff that I was pretty proud about, and I was like, haha. But one thing I did not see coming is how big the webcomic industry started taking over and how big of a part it started playing in the West. I didn't see that coming at all. Now, especially, I'm going to put this out there, especially if there's a company, which there is some that I know about, that will take you on as an original series and you'll post it as almost a manga style, but in somewhat of webcomic format. Not the format specifically, just vertical scrolling. But you can put up pages. Now, I believe that if something like that or a company like that decides to take that chance, I think you're going to see something happen where a manga creator will, or someone who wants to be a manga creator in the West, is going to take that opportunity because are you going to spend like just the threshold and the access is going to be drastically different than trying to go to another country to get published. You could do it from your frickin' bedroom, you know? this was a fun educational session of talking about the industry. Honestly, I don't really like the idea of it going specifically towards webcomics. Not my forte. Doing what I've done with webcomics so far with this series, it's been pretty fun. But I have an extreme love for the format for manga, the way they panel it, the blacks and whites. There's something about it that's just beautiful, and that's what's sad to me. I feel like a part of that's going to be lost over here. Manga's never going to go away, but it's going to be pigeonholed to a specific region of the world more and more. Unless you wanted to do it on your own and do it through like Patreon and stuff like that. I do think some of it's going to be a little pigeonholed. There could be a chance that a company pops up that really knocks off, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got 92 people in here. Good to see everyone. Dr. Stone Illustrator is from another country. Yep, I thought so. But few and far in between compared to if you ever seen the manga in Japan, my gosh, the stuff we see over here is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many manga creators and so many companies that we've never even heard of that are making not great wages. Let's just put it that way. See, that's the other thing. The amount of money you make over there at the base level compared to over here at the base level, there's a big difference. That's why there's a huge problem with the animation industry over there, that people always talk about how bad the animators are paid. And guess what? Freaking animators over here get paid quite decently. Let's just say quite decently compared to over there. We're talking about like I said, none of this is like extremely factual, but I'm thinking it's right around like 4 to 5 times more. Okay, let's say maybe 2 to 3 times more, depending on your position. That's why, like that person said about the person who got a job over there as a creator, the money versus work tends to not be worth it. Have you tried looking into Saturday AM? I used to work at Saturday AM. What about Devil Candy? But that was a while ago. They've changed a lot since then. So, like, hey, you go try your own thing. Like, I ended up going off and just trying my own manga because I wanted to do some stuff. I was working on YouTube. That's why I say, like, the companies I've worked with before, I have no ill will towards. Like, if you guys want to try to go to them, like, I left them on, good terms. I went and I just wanted to do my own thing. And life took me where it was. I got offers from other companies. I ended up wanting to do my own thing from there, focused on my YouTube channel, because I've been with Saturday AM, I've been with North Caesar, and I've done some like app work stuff. I've done other commissions and stuff like that. And see, that's where I'm saying, like, you go do you. But I'm just talking about where I see the webcomic industry kind of leaning towards. In the comic industry in the West in general. Specifically in the West. Because manga's always going to be around. I'm just saying the job opportunity is going to be a little bit different from country to country, I believe. That is my opinion. Controversial or not. I'm gonna get someone that's gonna be like, dude, bro, you so stupid, you wrong, man. Nah, it's fine. I don't care. I could be totally wrong, but based on what's starting to change and the shift, I don't know, me and my friend were like really talking about it. Because he lives in Japan, and yeah. We've even seen the difference between what's going on there and here, and it's just the availability and the sellability and the accessibility. There's just so many moving pieces. It's crazy. 88 people in here. Good to see everyone. Also, you've got to think to California, where most animation studios are at have a high cost living. So the pay is a whole more for sure. But yeah, animation pay is just different based on the area. Yeah, that's true. Inflation over there's freaking nuts. Because Japan animators are known to work really hard. That's why their animation are good, but they are not paid decently. Yep, it's true. If the West can have a partnership with Japanese animation studios, we can make the webcomics grow bigger, which they have. And for example, like, okay, if there's a really big webcomic, do you think if there's a webcomic that started popping off, and let's say Netflix was like, hey, this thing's going big, and people are starting to really like this, do you think they're just going to sit on it and not... Or, for example, Crunchyroll tried to do some stuff too. Do you think these people are just going to sit on it and be like, the animation studios aren't going to jump over to here, but the people who have those connections, which Netflix and Crunchyroll do, or even people from in between, agents that will come to you and then try to get a contract through Netflix or Crunchyroll to then get an animation from their connections in order to get a piece of that pie too, because they would be an in-between person. They would be someone that actually helped this happen. There are things like that that happen, and it's you'll see. If there's good products, things will happen. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know anything. I don't know. I think it's fun to talk about. So don't take anything I'm saying as fact, but I think it's an interesting space that's starting to open up in the markets that are available, especially in the West. It's kind of amazing that there are things that are the investors that are around and what they're investing in. If you're actually in the industry, you start being like, okay, I see. This makes a little bit more sense why they're doing this, because they see the shift too. It's kind of like all these people, like with the, like for example, everyone talked about McDonald's and all these fast food places eventually getting like replacing cashiers with these touch screens, and everyone's like, yeah, it's gonna happen. And then no one really thought about it, and then all of a sudden they started popping up everywhere. Guess what? Behind the scenes, the whole time, these people were working this out with these companies, working it out, getting this stuff ready to roll out. Guess what? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, just started freaking popping up everywhere, starting to have like digital touchscreens that you can order from. And with the pandemic, it just pushed it even faster for them to want to go closer and closer to that. Having just, they can fire more employees and then just have more people. And honestly, COVID was, shouldn't say that word, get demonetized. But that was a big way for them to actually start pushing these machines more and having less staff by laying off some of them because of the pandemic. It's called it's a specific word for the type of leave they put them on, because I know someone who was actually put on that leave and it sucked. But actually it didn't suck, because man, that leave stuff, the pay they gave you is nuts. But yeah. There's things moving behind the scenes that you may not really realize, because when people see some success somewhere, they go, oh, okay, we need to dabble in this. It's just like let's just put it this way, the tobacco companies who were putting out slander ads on purpose towards I don't want to say the words, the other alternative to the tobacco. They put out ads to try to slander it more and more, because there is a bit of a problem in its own regard with the youth. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening was they started trying to slander specific companies and then popped up their own companies to try to slip in to this market. Companies, yeah. You're getting us hyped for the webcomic industry now. Well, think about it. If you're into something that's more romance and stuff and slightly less action oriented, if you start posting on webtoons, the amount of growth on there is ridiculous that you can get. Something more action based, there hasn't been anything that really took that industry when it comes to webcomics until recently with, I've noticed, Voice Me, and they're one of the fastest growing webcomic websites there is out there. And there's a huge market for it, basically. Yeah, it's my 2 cents. The only bad thing about the threshold for webcomics is they want you to produce a certain amount, they want it to be colored, and that's very hard for one person to really get in on that. But that's what I'm saying. If there is a specific company that starts opening their arms in a good way to someone who wants to do it in a more black and white format, I think that's going to do very well for a company. I don't think it's going to do that much of a difference compared to it being colored. In fact, in my personal opinion, I believe if a company goes off and embraces the black and white format, even if it's in even if it's like this type of panel format, I personally believe if they embrace that format of that, or sorry, that black and white aspect, I believe that one, you don't have to spend as much money on the production. And let's say if you wanted to spend a lot of money on the production, the same amount as a colored one would, most companies would not opt into that. They'd probably just spend less. But if they did, the quality would be higher because you don't have to color. You can spend more time on the inking and the actual composition and all that stuff. Go work for Shonen Jump? Yeah, you could. Do you know how hard it is to get into Shonen Jump as someone from another country, a foreigner? So Kuzo, homie, what this webtoon called? It's called The Mad Gate. It's going to be published. It's going to be going weekly this month. I can't say when, but it's going to be towards the end of the month. I actually know the date, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything yet. Manga creators and animators should get paid decently. I believe so too, but that's only because I'm in the industry. You're getting us hyped about it. There's also, what do you mean? It comes to animation. People want animators to get paid, paid much more, but they also want the manga artists to get paid more for the anime. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a crazy system. I don't know the whole back end of the stuff over there and how much these industry people make, but dang, still alive? Yes, I am. I am going to be going soon here. I was just kind of like rambling and doing this background. I did accidentally. Uh-oh. Oh no. Please don't tell me. Okay, thank God. Oh gosh. Oh. I thought I did this on the sketch layer. It's back. Wow, I mistyped that like a billion times. I bet a lot of these opinions are going to be super weird and controversial. I bet I'm going to get a bunch of comments about it, but I don't care. It was just a fun conversation. Don't take anything I said like as fact. It's just a food for thought. Just think about it and keep an eye on the industry. I think it's going to be a really interesting thing. I've been right about a lot of stuff, but I could be wrong about this. They don't have anything to do with the production 9 times out of 10. I like color, but I would make both black and white and color. See, I honestly prefer black and white. I think the beauty of it, the skill of it, and so if it's black and white, there's a purpose for liking the anime. If it's black and white, you get to not just see it move, but you get to see it in color. So if you're coloring it, I believe it takes a little bit less away from what the anime is willing to offer. That's what I believe. That's why there's select color pages that's like, this is what it can look like in color, but there's more of an incentive to actually watch the anime. And then it also differentiates the two mediums even more, in my personal opinion. Also, if you think about it, the author and creators probably get 50% of the income of their manga. It really depends on the contract you get. It depends on the contract you get for that, and where you sit. In Japan, they might get some. I don't know. A lot of the contracts that I've seen, there's two versions. First party titles, which typically you get paid more per panel or per page, but you don't have, in some contracts, depending on how it starts, you don't have volume sales. But some parties, once you go third party for your contract, you get paid less per page and panel, but you get more rights because it's not first party. You own the product more. But then I think you would get more of the merch and actual volume sales. So it really depends on your contract and the company, really. This isn't like a set thing, but yeah. I can't decide between color and black and white. If you're going webcomic industry, honestly, color is your biggest option to get it published under a company. But yeah, if it's manga, black and white. Manga style inks are beautiful American style inks. I can't tell what's what until it's colored. Honestly, American style inks are very detailed, so I always respect that. I need to pull up some reference for the hammer here, and then we'll actually be done with this panel. Oh, that's cool. That means this page is going to be ready to hand off to the other inker. Except for this panel, I have to do this panel on the first page that I have. If I pay the Ninja Jonin Patreon, is it enough to learn good anatomy? That's up to how much you decide to study stuff there, but I have over 30 anatomy sheets. I have 2 years worth of content on there, and I will be doing more content. It's been kind of like really slow recently, but I'm going to be getting more stuff out, and I also have like, it must be over 200 sketchbook pages on there. So there's a lot of stuff there. And like I said, I'm going to be going more into actual anatomy in depth, but there's a lot of base anatomy stuff that I have there. So yes, you will get trust me, you will get the money's worth on there, because there's a lot of stuff between when I started it up till now. And that's one of the things I can always say about my Patreon is there's a lot of stuff on there already. And the stuff I'm learning now, I'm going to be giving more out. For example, I have a whole document based on how to actually draw manga on there. Like, there's a link to it. You would have to type it into the search bar. So if you do get my Patreon subscription, you can type in the search bar whatever you want, and you would most likely find it. You could always ask questions on there if you do need to. Does Kuzo have Discord? That's the one thing I want to launch. I've decided that I'm probably, so one of the things I need to add on is kind of like when I upload to YouTube or something, I want there to be a notification. That's the only thing that I want to add on from here on out. But I need to, I want to be able to launch a Patreon exclusive Discord, so that way we can have a nice little community over there. So that'd be nice. Is the link on his YouTube? Are you talking about if you're talking about my Patreon, the link should be in the description of this video and pretty much any of my videos. Manga just hit different. Yeah, I love manga, man. We need to have a stream with discussion like this more often. Yeah, it's just a discussion. It's not something where I'm saying this is exactly what's going to happen, but it's very nice to talk about because the industry it's basically a podcast format. This is a subject and we are talking about it. It's fun to talk about because it doesn't mean it has to be perfect. Like most podcasts are like, hey man, I'm just talking about this stuff. Like don't freak out. This is a conversation, and some people may get upset. I'm not saying for sure on any of that stuff that I said. And if you like, I'm just saying that there's been some things that are really cool. I'm not saying that webcomics are going to be taking over manga. It's just a form of comics in the West that is more accessible for income than doing specifically manga styled content. And that's just the truth. There's just more options. And you could even see that from Brandon Chen. Like, look at all the series that he's done. Yes, he has a manga series too, but like he's got a lot of webcomic series that he's working on, from webtoons to Voice Me and all that stuff. And honestly, I think the webcomic format has a bit more of restrictions than manga. When I started drawing, I noticed some more restrictions, but I think that's because I've been trying to play a little bit too much into the vertical format, when I should start playing more into the idea of paneling and not just the vertical format. I think I should take major advantage of the vertical format during intense battle scenes, and I should go more panel based, as if I was drawing manga panels and throwing them in here. I believe I should start focusing more on. This is stuff I've noticed about my own work while working on this stuff. I think it's really interesting, and I've been trying to improve my own stuff during this process. But I've also tried to bring what I know about manga on here too. I don't know. It's going to be fun. We'll see. Kuzomari, there is already a Discord with that thing. Oh yeah, there's a public Discord. That's not. I'm not running that specifically. I don't want to specifically advertise that only because I'm not running that, so I don't have any say over what goes on in there. I could, but I'm not going to be doing a public Discord right now because it would be a little bit too much. But the one I'm actually going to be active on is the one I will launch for my Patreon. Little tip here, one thing that helps them seem like they're actually standing on the ground is putting a little bit extra detail specifically around where they are. It makes them feel grounded. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of doing it up high. What time is it? Okay, got some time. Can't believe we've only finished 1, 2, 3 panels. Boo. Bad Kuzo. How dare you. all together today, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels done. And like, for example, this page would be pretty quick. Who knows? Maybe I'll save this page for tomorrow and I'll go ahead and start working on like some other pages that I can't show you right now. So that way I do have some streaming content for tomorrow. I don't know. If I do stream tomorrow, I probably will. But no guarantees. Kuzo, I started doing my practice on my iPad. Do you think it matters if I'm practicing traditionally or digitally? I prefer to practice traditionally because anything that you practice traditionally is that is exactly how your hand is supposed to move, and then you can eventually slowly, I think you should go between the both. I think you should get your mind used to being able to do it traditionally and digitally. If you want to go straight digital, that's fine, but just remember, like, there might be a time where you just want to do it on paper, and yeah, I think it's always good to have the ability to be able to do it on paper or digitally. I'm a person that likes having a sketchbook now that's done, not filled up with a bunch of like basically finished drawings. I like the idea of having a sketchbook that I just throw crappy sketches in or just basically sketches that I learned. My sketchbooks are sketchbooks. They're not finished drawing books. Like if I'm going to finish a drawing, I'm going to finish a drawing. But if I do a sketch in there that I like, guess what I can do? I can take a picture of it. I can then finish it on my iPad. I think that's a pretty good option. Stan Lee and Thomas actually have a webtoon, but it's been on hiatus since Stanley passed away. It's a real bummer too. It was good. See, that's another thing. See, that's what I'm saying. You know what happened when manga started popping off? Ooh, Stanley hopped on it and he did a collab with the artist of Shaman King with Shonen Jump, because guess what? He knows to dabble in the industries that are popping off. He then goes and does a webtoon popping off industries. It's industries always shift, and you know, it's always evolving. How the hell you draw a ground like that? I do. It looks like lines. It's really based on just the way you do the lines and where you put the actual detail. You want to learn like some types of ratios. It kind of helps. Typically, you want to do a little bit more detail in the foreground, and you want to do less detail in the background as it fades away. And you also kind of want to have a general repeat structure of how you do specific lines and stuff. Now I'm going to expect the colorist to kind of do the background over here, since they're simple things that they've already done before. Should be just fine. Why am I clicking that stuff? Oh, yeah, I know why. Nope. That needs to be bigger. Oh, whoa. I want you to be fatter. Come on. There we go. I like that tail butt to be a little fatter. There we go. So I think I need, in the sketch stage, I need to take off this one and that one, and then the rest is not up to me. This page is ready to shoot out, I believe. Yeah, looks like it's ready to shoot out here. And the only other page I have left to do on this one, or panel, is this one. I'm going to be doing that full panel myself. So, and then that would be for Klein. All right. So I think I'm going to be wrapping up here. It was super fun. Compare the ground to Naruto manga ground. Yeah, my backgrounds are very similar to like Naruto stuff. So one of my biggest influences. Hey Kuzo, are these streams going to be saved on the channel? Yes, they are. I'm just tired of seeing Japan having the best stuff. We need to grow more here
to even though it's getting better. Yeah, we do need to grow over here. I feel like the other thing is there's a bit of a stigma around the idea, especially in America, of Americans actually doing manga formatted stuff. Uh, there's a bit of a stigma that hangs over it. That's like you're not a real. This isn't a real manga, and there that even though you don't want to think it's there, it's always going to hang over the people who want to be manga formatted creators in the West. Uh, Even with a company that's even if they're making these web comics, or even if they're making like mangas in their company, this is something that I feel like is always going to be held over the head, and especially if you want to go to um, over to another country with it, there's still going to be a stigma from that country that it's not like real manga, and it's something real that is there. You may not think it is, but it's there. That's why I think some of these animation places and industry places, it's much easier to sell the web comic format because it's like it's not trying to do something that's so ingrained in a specific culture that's from someone who's foreign, uh, which sounds bad, but it is what it is. That's how the industry is, you know. That's how it works, yo. Sometimes sometimes reality's harsh. I said I was gonna go soon here, but then I started doing this because I was like, okay, while I'm talking, I might as well do some work, you know? Oh, there goes my dog. Oh, I forgot. I need to do dog reveal. Yeah, I'll do dog reveal. I'll try to. She's kind of big now, and my foot's still not too good. I'll give it a shot, though. Actually, I'm pretty close to being done with this panel. The rest isn't going to be too hard from here. Let's see what everyone's saying. I agree. That's bullcrap. I wish people would stop calling American manga artists comic book artists. Um, it's hard because they are comics. They're manga styled. The thing is, manga means comics, but manga ended up turning into its own thing because people called it manga to differentiate because it was so much different than Western style comics. Technically, they're both comics. I'm fine with a manga of mine being called comic because it is technically a comic. It's just manga styled. Um, I used to be offended when people said your your manga is a comic, and I was just like, I used to be offended. I'm not offended anymore because you have to come around to the idea that in literal translation, it means comic. It's fine, but over here in the West, it turned into something because we have something called a manga section, which that they when they, from what I know, even comics over there are called. They might call it komiku or something like that, and it goes both ways. I don't know. It's such a weird subject. I don't care. I started leaving that crap alone a long time ago. If you stream on Twitch, please never stop uploading. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure I always upload them onto the YouTube. Don't worry about that. All the comics here in the United States are all macho characters and superhero or superhuman. Manga main characters are more relatable. Yeah, in their own ways. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's probably why one of the reasons why Superman or Spider-Man is so popular is because it was one of the most relatable characters compared to like Batman, who's a like 30-year-old guy who's still hurt over
The fact that his parents got murdered and this stuff, and don't get me wrong, he's a great superhero, but also same goes for like Superman. He's this 30-year-old guy. They're supposed to be people that you look up to. Manga comes in at a period in someone's life that's much more relatable in their current moment, so it strikes different. I draw so much like Kishimoto. Nah. He's always going to be better than me. Hopefully I can become a successful mangaka, but writing a good story takes time, to be honest. Yes, it does. I don't have any specific tutorials on how to use Clip Studio. Maybe I'll do like a breakdown of one of my pages one time on how to do something. I think that would be fun. How I set up my stuff on for manga pages and even webcomics. But yeah. Hi, kudos. I was wondering how you manage time making manga while also doing mundane things. I do not have friends. And if I have friends, they're typically in the same kind of industry as me. And it keeps us talking about that stuff, which means I don't do mundane things that are not related to what I typically do. I used to not play video games, started doing that a little bit, and then you basically work all the time. But then again, you do want to, at a certain point, if you feel like you're breaking, you do want to take like some time to yourself and have some talks and have some friends around. But you try to stay healthy though. What do you draw when you aren't working on your manga projects? I typically try to practice or something like that. Or try to work on my own thing. I thought I saw something else. Japan is already recognizing foreigners. That's why they did the international Tezuka. Yes, that is true, but it's they're doing it, but they're doing it through another company. They're not specifically doing it themselves. That Art Street place or Medibank place, they're the one that are hosting it. The competition is so fierce. So what I'm saying is there's not going to ever be a time. Okay, let's put it this way. They want to do it international, right? Now think about it from a business perspective. They're doing this almost, I don't know exactly why they're doing it, but for example, manga margins are already thin to start a series. So what are they going to have to do if you don't live in Japan and you don't know Japanese and you enter this and you win it and they want to try to do a series with it? What's going to happen? They're going to need to pay a translator, which guess what? Translators are not cheap. They're going to have to pay a translator to translate, or they're going to have an editor that speaks English or whatever your language is good enough for them to actually manage you. And to actually do a weekly series is almost impossible through that language barrier. And it wouldn't be impossible, it would be very hard. So that means the series that you'll be working on will be at a higher cost because they're already paying someone who is either bilingual or a translator. This is the level you have to think of as a company. Like you have to think from their perspective. I don't know exactly why they opened it up, but any series that did go through actually getting a full-on published series, they would have had to. It's just very hard. It's very interesting, but I did see it, and it's really cool that they are doing it. And I might, who knows, maybe I'll enter one day. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to be focused on what I'm focusing on. I think the industry is really fun right now to watch how it's going to progress. But anyways, when you being drawing since for drawing something right is really fun. Not sure what you meant there, but anyways, it was super fun. Definitely gonna be streaming again. Hopefully you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and yeah, peace out. Super fun. Peace.